So real quick, I just want to talk about healing really quick. As someone who's experienced a lot of wrong in my life, and I won't pretend to say that I've experienced more wrong than other people, but I feel like I've experienced a tremendous amount of rejection, like from childhood, and I just an exuberant amount of rejection. I never really could make good, like, I really never could make friends. I moved a lot. My self-esteem was so low that I would entertain people that I should not have been entertaining. Example, Peyton. Peyton is like a prime example. Thankfully, he graced me with her and gifted me with her, but I'm saying, the guy that I was with, just, anyway. But in this season, and this is what is going to keep you from healing, one of the first things he had to address in me is self-pity and victim mentality. Because I'll tell you this, you'll begin to recognize when God's trying to prune you and deal with things in you, your first response is to get defensive and go, well, that wasn't even there until I was treated like this, I was treated like that. And what keeps us, the first step to truly healing is to take responsibility for your healing. And what we wind up doing in our minds is, well, if I take responsibility for my healing, in a way we conflate that with taking responsibility with how we were wrong, and that's not true. You're not taking responsibility for how people treated you, because how they treated you is how they treated you. It's a separate issue. You're taking responsibility for dealing with what it produced in you. And so if you don't get past the self-pity, it keeps you bound. The victim mentality, that keeps you bound. You will never change. And it's hard. It's not easy. Because taking responsibility for things you feel like weren't really, like, I didn't produce this in myself. This was produced in me because of this, that, the other, or whatever. Maybe you had a dad that was absent, or he was abusive, or he was mean, or whatever the situation is. It has produced something in you. Your healing is your responsibility. And as long as you stay in that mentality that I'm a victim, and you say in self-pity, like, I'm telling you, one night I came to Jesus, I came to the Lord, and I know this may sound crazy, but there's a difference between, like, feeling genuine pain and then feeling self-pity. And when it went from feeling pain to feeling sorry for myself, the Lord was like, no. Because he said, blessed are those who mourn, not blessed are those who feel sorry for yourself. And that is different. It's different. It is not helpful to feel sorry for yourself, because then it goes beyond the pain of the immediate situation to, I'm always mistreated, I'm always misunderstood, why? And you're like, not productive. And I think also a lot of times in a way we feel like that person deserves to pay for what they did to us in a way. And so us holding on to anger is in a crazy way, thinking that we're making them pay for what they did to us, but it's not really affecting them as much as it's affecting you. So I'm telling you, self-pity and victim mentality is a trap from the enemy. It's because it keeps you bound. And I know it feels painful to take responsibility for what other people produced in you, but it's a necessary step. And until you defeat that mindset, you won't get your healing completely. You won't get rid of the patterns and the thought processes that it produced in you, because you'll constantly be defending yourself. And then because you feel like you're a victim, these are like These are like defense mechanisms because you feel like you need to protect yourself, but they're not conducive to where God wants to take you, and they're not conducive to you being the person that God called you to be. So you have to like let go of all the walls you've placed to protect yourself and trust that God will hide you in the shelter of his wings, and be willing to be hurt again. Like, take the risk. So that's my little tidbit for the day. I just, I feel like maybe somebody need to hear that. But like, don't, I'm telling you, offense, self-pity, the victim mentality. We feel like we're justified. It's tricky because we feel like we're justified in those things because it's a self-preservation thing. But Jesus didn't teach us to preserve ourselves. He laid down his life for others, and here we are trying to self-preserve. We're never going to do what he wants us to do as long as we're worried about ourselves, because what it does and what it's done in me is produce selfishness. I wasn't always that way, but in ways it's produced selfishness in me, if I'm just going to be transparent, because I would give and give and give and give and give and give and give, probably unwisely. Like, God is having to teach me how to be wise with how I invest in other people. Not that I don't invest in other people, but that I don't just make myself available at all times to all situations. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, maybe this helps somebody. Have a good day.